Hello, fellow students and members of the Holy Cross Vision Council. I'm Matt Davis, and I'm joined today by Patrick Durant, Elizabeth Rethinger, and Sarah Greenschills. The purpose of today's presentation is to recommend a service project to take place in the spring of 2013 for the students, staff, and faculty of St. Edward's School of Management and Business. Today, I'll be introducing our client. Patrick will be discussing primary and secondary research. Elizabeth will be talking about our findings, and Sarah will be discussing our recommendations. So, as I said, my name is Matt, and I will be discussing the introduction of the HCVC. Their mission is to challenge and inspire students, faculty, and staff of St. Edward's to make a positive difference in the community. Now, to make this difference, we were given a problem to investigate. What kind of service project to implement, and what demographic should we target? Now, to start off this, I will hand it over to the next presenter who will go over the primary and secondary research.
Thank you, Matt. All right, well, so I cover primary and secondary research, but I will spare you a recap of the particulars of our survey, all that kind of stuff. Basically, I just wanted to recap a few things. The Holy Cross Vision Council parameters, obviously you guys told us only School of Management and Business. You gave us the, tasked us with the specific themes of alienation and immigration. So from there, we said in the last presentation, we kind of investigated the population breakdown of School of Management and Business. Found out that there were 500 graduate, 840 undergraduate, 250 new college, and 60 faculty and staff. So overall, we figured that with 1,650 people in School Management and Business, we needed to sample about 300 of them in order to review our findings with a 95% confidence. So from there, we went ahead and distributed our surveys. Again, distributed about 313 in order to maintain a confidence interval. And that was done largely through just contacts with the students, certain professors who would be willing to let us do it in class, or advisors that we knew and have you. So, like I said, we ended up getting back about 289 surveys that were usable. It was touched on a little bit in the last presentation, but some of them, the discrepancy between 313 distributed and 289 received was due to response errors, and there was two types of questions on the survey. Some of them required you to rank, and we ended up getting, like we said, a bunch of answers for 3, a bunch of answers for 2. So what we did is just, if there was multiple answers that scored the same high number, there were multiple 3s, we just counted all of those. And while there were some errors with the survey, the way we interpreted it was by including a greater amount of responses, so we feel like this kind of enhanced the accuracy of the survey and allowed us to get a better understanding of the willingness and preferences of the population. So the tallying process was pretty straightforward. We just separated according to School of Management and Business category, and then divided those up amongst the groups in our class, and went from there. So this provides a kind of, I only included a couple of the graphs to spare you there's 8 or so in our final report, but this gives you a good idea of kind of the breakdown by School Management and Business category, what the preferences for the age group were. So as you can see, undergraduates were pretty likely to answer that they wanted to work with children. Really, the only discrepancy in here was the graduate tended to want to work with adults, but overall, you can still see that children won out by a pretty large margin. Again, this just kind of shows the overwhelming preference of the whole School Management and Business community to work for between an hour and 4 hours. So, having completed our survey, we moved on to having completed the survey and reviewed all the responses, we went on to our secondary research. And as Holy Cross Vision Council was the client, we went back and did a little bit more research into the mission statement and the 10 guiding principles. And we kind of picked out a few that we thought were the most pertinent to our project here. We decided to focus on educating the whole person, focus on the local community, and social and economic justice for every individual. So that being said, we wanted to obviously do something that was extremely local. So we decided to work with at-risk youth or disadvantaged youth in the Austin area. Again, to further understand what that meant, we went ahead and researched the national, the recognized definitions for charitable groups for these two demographics. And then we looked at the particular socioeconomic conditions in Austin and found out that 23.6% of Austin lives below the poverty line, and the vast majority of that is concentrated in the east and southeast portions of the city. So from there, we went to kind of assessing potential partnerships and researching local people that we could partner with, local organizations. And we focused on three. We narrowed it down to three before making our ultimate decision. We looked into the Council on At-Risk Youth, American Youth Works, and Beehive Austin. My colleague will get into that here in a second. So yeah, I'll hand it off to Elizabeth.
Okay, so like Patrick said, the group before us touched on this, so I'm going to spare you again. Basically, it's once a month, 1 to 4 hours, but Sarah, when she gives you the recommendations, is going to explain how we kind of did a 2-tier commitment in case there were people who wanted to volunteer more than that. So, based on the research, we found 4 facts that we thought were pertinent to the recommendations that we're about to provide you guys with. So in Texas, 60% of school children don't have access to quality after-school care, and that's really important in children's development because kids in after-school care are twice less likely to do drugs, and it provides a place for them to develop social skills and conflict resolution skills. Also, juvenile crime triples after school lets out at the end of the day, so based off of this and the primary and secondary research, we decided that we wanted to work with after-school care programs, and Sarah is going to actually discuss the particular one we chose.
Thank you. Okay, so after I went over what Elizabeth explained about the problems there is with children not having after-school care, like she said, that's really what we wanted to look at. So the organization we found is Beehive Austin. They used to be known as Heart House Austin. And what this organization does is they work Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. at 3 different locations throughout Austin. They provide students with after-school care, so they're providing mentoring and tutoring, homework help, and then of course they give them like snacks and they do like a fun physical activity. And we emailed with them back and forth with one of the directors named Amy Fuller, and she was extremely helpful and really excited to work with St. Edward's. And what she stated she wanted was like a long-term, ongoing partnership with the university and with the Holy Cross Vision Council. So, like was previously mentioned, working with her, we came up with a 2-tier kind of commitment. We wanted to make sure that if there were students or faculty or staff who wanted to volunteer more than just once a month, they have the opportunity. So Amy told us, everyone's more than welcome to come, several times a week, even if they wanted, just hang out with the kids, help them with their homework, and just like start a relationship with this organization. So we wanted to use the model of the Beehive, and for the not weekly events, they have, for like the monthly event we wanted to have, they do like a fun Friday every month where they just reward the kids for coming and showing up and working hard at school, and they do like a crazy science experiment, or they go on a field trip, or they have like a soccer tournament, or they watch a movie and play a game, just something fun for the kids to keep them motivated, to keep coming, to keep working hard. And Amy was like, we're more than happy to have your group of volunteers come up with a program and to kind of spearhead it. And she was like, you can use our resources. Of course, if the university wants to pitch in some money or some funds or provide the food for the day. She was like, we'd love that. We are a charity organization, so we do work off donations. So that's basically, we had to come in on a weekly basis, or you can come in on a monthly basis. And like the previous group stated, it is hard to keep that many people organized, that amount of volunteers organized. So we thought probably the easiest way, since everyone generally has a Facebook and knows how to use it pretty well, we could come up with a Facebook group. That way the volunteers could actually be the ones running it, and just keep everyone updated, like, this is what's going on this week at Beehive, this is what our monthly event's going to be, you can meet here and we're going to talk about what we're going to do for it. So just to keep everyone involved. Then of course we use posters to continuously advertise the fact that people can join this organization and help us. So that's really what our recommendations were. Just to recap what we went over, we talked about our primary research, our secondary research, our findings and conclusions, and our recommendations that I just went over. And we just wanted to thank you for coming and listening to our presentation and for your consideration on what we came up with. Are there any questions?
Tell me what the name of the beehive was before it was.
Heart House.
Heart House?
Heart House, yeah.